So this needs to be shared with everybody on the planet, every human being, at least those who don't know this for themselves, who have never experienced this for themselves. But before we get into that, thank you. Welcome back once again. I'm here once again in the grow room, and I just wanted to show you a little something after I smacked my elbow on my trunk there. I got a few new plants that are growing. Tomatoes, and I forget what these things are. Beauties, aren't they? Got these little soil pods, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, anyways, pretty excited. Be planting those soon. So what is it that I want to share? What needs to be shared with the world? Let me start with a small story, a little experience that I had earlier today. Today my mind was very busy compared to what it had been over the last week or two even. And the more you watch the mind, the more you see repeating patterns coming back. And I was recognizing a pattern of negativity. Not really frustration, but noticing how busy the mind was, and also that my attention was being sucked in more by the mind and its activity than usual. Hence, a sense of negativity and wanting it not to be that way was starting to come in. And where I am now, because I've seen this so many times, and because of the practice I'm going to explain to you, it didn't, of course, it didn't have the same power it would have before because of what I'm going to explain. And I was quickly able to drop it, if that's one way to put it, because of what I'm going to explain to you here in a minute. What I'm going to give you is not easily received unless you really want it. I'll be honest, it took me some time in order to look in myself and see certain patterns enough to realize that fighting against those patterns are not going to help. I've seen that fighting certain mind patterns do the opposite of making them go away. They sustain it. So let me get into it. So as I noticed the negative mind pattern come over me, my attention being sucked into noticing how the mind is busy, and then the feeling in me wanting it to be different. And this is the easiest technique. And let me tell you that in spirituality, in the truth of your being and your mind, and the way this stuff works, is all the really powerful techniques are extremely simple. The only difficult part is for the mind to believe that something so simple would work, and to give it your full attention in order for it to work, I guess. So what works more than anything as far as allowing the mind, and at least in my experience, to getting out of a negative state, is simply saying yes. Hello, Leah. Simply saying yes. Now, let me go a bit deeper. It doesn't mean you say yes to what's going on around you. If you're in a position where there's people around you that just are overwhelming you, you may need to leave the situation. So you don't say yes to the outside. This is not what I'm talking about. But the feeling inside of you, if you're noticing you're struggling, there's a negativity inside of you, you say yes to that. You say yes to any inner state, any inner feeling, whatever comes up inside of you related to inside or outside, you give it a full yes. You just completely give into it. Not that it takes you over, but as soon as you give in, it just gone. And it's exactly, of course, again, how it happened to me earlier today. The mind works kind of backwards. So if you try not to feel a certain way, let's say, for example, you're going through your regular day and you feel really good, and you start telling yourself, oh, this is who I really am, here I feel like myself today. Common, very common. I see people say that, and I used to feel the same way, so I understand that very deeply myself. That's that feeling of, now I feel right, I feel good. And that's how I felt before the negativity. So the minute the shift in your consciousness comes, there's a part of you that says no. There's an inner part of you that doesn't want the state of consciousness you're currently experiencing to go away. If you've ever noticed, let me tie in to something that I mentioned earlier just before this point. If you say no to something, your mind will make it stronger. If you say no, your mind will make it stronger. Whatever negativity you're saying no to, I'm going to repeat this again because this is so important. Your mind will make it stronger. Realizing that saying yes makes it go away, it doesn't make sense. Of course it doesn't make sense. Because we've been taught backwards. So I gave it a full yes. And I allowed with my entire being whatever feeling, whatever new feeling was coming in to be there. I just, all right, okay, a full yes. With my entire being. And just guess what happened to that negative feeling. Take a guess. Where did it go? It dissolved. It's been gone since 5, 6 o'clock it was that around this time, earlier this afternoon. And right now it's going on 2 a.m. in the morning. So, 7 hours. Has it tried to come back? Not even a pinch of it. There is a strange phenomenon in the experience of the inner states of consciousness that you'll go through in your life. Hey, Leah. She's looking, I don't know what she's looking at, but she's so cute. The only way to find peace in your life, to really get over anxiety, to really get over depression, to get over any kind of negativity you're going to feel, is to understand that you're going to change from one state of consciousness to a next state of consciousness, and largely it's beyond a certain level of your control. At least at a certain point. Because controlling it is not the point. It's not the end point. If you're trying to say yes because deep down inside you expect it to work, or deep down inside you expect to feel good after you give it a yes, it's not going to work. That's not how this works. I'm sorry. You need to mean it. You need to be sincere, and that's the word here I can use that's really going to give you the most understanding of these types of techniques. It's so simple, but Oftentimes, the more simple techniques are more difficult to apply because they go against our conditioning, they go against our beliefs. You need to fully accept that I'm now going from the state of being that I enjoy the most to something different. So let it be. So be it. All fight and struggle against the changes you're going to experience in you, in a large part outside of you as well. All struggle is madness. It's complete madness. And it's madness because it doesn't work. That's why it's madness. It's insane because it doesn't work. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane to repeatedly try a method to make something different, to make it better, when it doesn't work every time. It's like beating your head against a metal wall, expecting it to one day break open. Your skull will crack first. You know, it's at some point you have to realize you're hitting your head against a metal wall here. And again, I'm going to repeat because this is extremely true. This is the way the mind works. Anxiety, depression, ADD, ADHD, any mental illness that's not an actual physical issue in the brain. If you don't have an actual physical problem in your brain that makes it so that you cannot be in a normal state of being, if you are in the same state of health that most people are, you were born the same way, okay? You don't have a disability, a mental handicap, okay? Then every single mental illness that would fall within the same umbrella of anxiety and depression, and nowadays there's a plethora of them, they all have different names, are bullshit. They are created by you. All of them. And on the deepest level, you know I'm right. Because the truth of the matter is, you want to feel a certain way all the time. If it was up to you, you would feel a certain feeling, and that's it. Oh, this is the one. I feel happy right now. I'm not worried about things. I want to feel like this all the time. This expectation that this is possible is what brings people, is what drives the population to medicate. Medicating yourself is running from your own reality. It's denying yourself. It's denying life. It's avoiding your ability to respond to your inner state of being with courage. It's denying your own inner strength. It's saying life is too hard and I want an easy way out. I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I'm here to tell you the truth of how things are, and the way you expect, your expectations are your worst enemy. Medication is not going to work. It's just like putting a plug on something. It's a patch. You know, it's not a permanent fix. It's a shitty patch, as a matter of fact. It's a patch that wears off after some time. You're on medication for a while, eventually you got to change the medication, and each time you change the medication, there's this adaptation phase, and sometimes you have to try different medications until you find the right one, and you may have a few wrong ones in the meantime, and all this time you're worried about your anxiety and your stress, and you get a panic attack. Did you know all panic attacks are created by you not wanting to feel what you're feeling? Did you? I gotta repeat that. Did you know all panic attacks are you generated, or are generated by you not wanting to feel what you're feeling? Do you realize that all panic attacks, every single panic attack you can or will have, if you have them, and I'm sorry if you do, because it's a terrible experience, they dissolve with a simple yes, fully. To just go into it, to let yourself feel all of it. Feel it fully. There's going to be a inner running, a resistance that your mind doesn't want you to feel, a fear. Feel the fear. Feel every possible emotion. And I promise you, if you do this sincerely, this is one of the only promises I can make. If you do this seriously, if you go into any negative experience you're having sincerely and fully, not to change it, but sincerely say yes to whatever it is you're feeling. Yes, interested. Oh, don't scratch on that, girl. Don't scratch on that, girl. Don't scratch on that. So whatever it is that you're feeling, if you go into it fully with a yes and sincerely, you sincerely are going, that's it. I'm just gonna feel it. Hey, come here. Oh, she doesn't like that. She went to hiss at the other cat now. And that's, I'm just going to keep repeating myself now at this point in the video, because that's really how powerful this technique is. This has changed my life more than anything. The art of surrender. It really is an art. And when you first start painting, as easy as it is to paint a circle, you know, there takes a little, even a circle, it takes some time for your hand to master a perfect circle, you know. So in the same way, surrendering to whatever experience you're currently have in your inner state, fully accepting it, fully going into it, having the courage to really just dive in, it'll change your life. As I said a few times in other videos, please don't take my word for it. These things are it's simply easily applied and tested by yourself. It takes patience, sincerity, patience. Okay? Wherever you are around the world, whatever time it is that you're watching this video, thank you. I appreciate you. Peace.